What were some of the most surprising things that you found out that you could change to be more sustainable that a lot of people just do day to day and don't realize? Like,
So definitely quitting fast fashion. So
okay, so
that's something I
is that
did.
stuff like Primark, or is that stuff like
That's pretty much
pretty
everything.
much everything? So
So fast fashion is the idea that something is fast to design, fast to make, fast to like send out, like deliver, fast to use, and fast to like break. So, and often comes at a very low price. So yeah, Primark is a prime example because, you know, you can buy tops in there for like £1. And that just makes you think, A, how well is that going to be made? B, what material is that going to be made of? And C, how much is the person making it going to be paid?
yeah.
Or what are the working conditions? So I quit fast fashion maybe 2 years ago. So since then, I've only ever bought in charity shops, and
All
it's
right.
been
Okay.
great. I found, you know, like that's the thing. In the UK, there are charity shops, and you can literally find everything in charity shops. Like it's a bit more of an effort, but you can find everything. And
Yeah.
that was a massive change, and that's something I am actually very vocal about as well with my friends. And also on my social media, I'm very passionate about slow fashion and trying to like slow down the pace at which we buy stuff.
So stuff like ASOS, you must just hate, because that is
Yeah.
literally like that business model is just getting stuff to you as fast as you
Yeah.
possibly can for as cheap as you can.
Exactly, exactly. And all of those kind of like Boohoo, Misguided, Pretty Little Thing, Shein, all of those things are just literally like also the fact that they have like 1,000 new designs each week, that kind of makes you think, you know, I feel like there's so many red flags. And
Yeah.
once you know what they are, like I feel like once I learned about it, I couldn't unsee it. Like I could just not at all buy fast fashion. So that was one of the big changes I made. Obviously going vegan was a big change, but also choosing to always buy the loose section in fruit and veg.
The all right, okay. The loose section,
So
so stuff that doesn't get pre-packaged or is not
exactly,
like left out just for people to pick and
yeah,
choose.
exactly. So I buy all my fruit and veg from the market, but in the
Okay.
Shambles, love that place. Literally like my second home. But I before doing that, I would just go to the supermarket and instead of getting, I don't know, 3 peppers in a plastic like bag,
Yeah.
I would just get 3 peppers loose, and that already makes
It
such a difference.
like it doesn't make sense to
I
use those
know.
plastic bags. I watched a stupid video that was like 30 seconds long, and it was literally that exact thing. It was someone going to like a patisserie counter and picking out like a croissant, and they put it inside a plastic bag, and 30 seconds later he was chucking away the plastic bag because he'd eaten the
Exactly.
croissant. And it was like
Yeah.
but those things are just so small and subtle
Yeah. And
that
it's just
people don't.
convenience. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Like they are small changes, but they're changes you need to realize that you want to make. And then you can put it into action. But if you're not thinking about it, you're just going to continue buying what you've always bought. So you're just going to continue buying the peppers in the plastic bag, or, you
Yeah.
know, the bananas with the plastic lining around them, you know, all of these sort of things. And so that was the first thing I did. As I said, now I try and live pretty much completely plastic free at university. But that was the first thing, just buying fruit and veg out of plastic. And that I think is a huge thing. Reducing plastic is super important. So.
Yeah. I imagine that must be really difficult at uni, especially trying to be plastic free. What's that like?
So as I said, I buy all my fruit and veg from the Shambles at the market,
Yeah.
and I love that because you kind of like you're with local people, you're supporting a local business and a local farm, and I love that. And then for all my other ingredients, I buy from a place called the Bishy Way,
Oh,
which
I
is
like the sound of that.
it's a bulk store. So you
Right.
go with your own containers, and they have like bulk bins, and then you kind of like empty the bulk bin into your container, and then you weigh it before and after, and you pay
Cool.
for your weight.
That sounds well good.
It's great. Again, love that place. So I go there, and then for anything, I buy cans and jars,
Yeah.
and I buy those just like in a supermarket. But there's a big misconception that I live a way more expensive lifestyle because I live with reduced waste
I was going
than
to ask that. I was
everyone
going to
else.
ask you that. Like, it's difficult to obviously put a figure on it and really
Yeah.
like identify how much it costs in comparison to like a standard, you
Yeah,
know.
well, I mean, obviously each person chooses to buy different things each week, and I'm seeing as I love cooking, I probably also buy slightly more expensive things, but I spend less than most of my friends who are meat eaters and use plastic. So, you know, there's, at the end of the day, I do actually spend less than them, even though I technically live what people consider to be the more expensive lifestyle. So I'm not saying that everyone could afford to live, like, to buy plastic free completely and to, you know, buy all the vegan maybe things that are a bit more expensive, but it's definitely not necessarily more expensive than the other option.
From an economics perspective, it can be slightly cheaper depending on what you get. I mean, it's
exactly.
great. It's great that you say though that you're supporting like local markets though. Like I think that's important because obviously that isn't something that survives all the time around the country.
Sure.
You know, like with local markets closing down and not being as popular. So it's great that, you know, you're putting an emphasis on the importance to support those local trades, which is good.
Yeah. No, it's something I really enjoy. And I got to know like the people. I always go to the same stall in the market for fruit and veg. So I got to know them and I kind of just always go and say, hey, how are you? You know, we kind of like...
Yeah, you get more like a personal...
A bit of a relationship.
Yeah. Do you ever get like a bit more put in for you or a bit money off
That's
sometimes?
The thing, like they're so like nice because they're just like, I don't know, I always feel like local people who like own farms are just so nice. They're just kind of like, oh, here, have this, or we've got this in special offer this week. And it's just lots of things which you just know they care about so much. And I think it's really nice.
Yeah. You're not going to get that kind of relationship with the guy working behind the cashier at Sainsbury's. So.
No, exactly.
Were they the main sort of things though that you've found
sure.
that changing was the most important and impactful thing that you did?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's fair. What are some of the things that you think people could feasibly and realistically achieve? Are they some of the things anyway? Or?
Yeah, well, I think it's really hard because obviously for me, these things feel really easy now. I'm kind of like, it's just my life. But I realised that for someone who's maybe starting way, way, way back from where I was 4 years ago even, it's a lot harder, the idea of going from eating meat every day to being a vegan, you know, or things like that. But I think it's just reduction. I think it's like in life with all of these things I've been talking about, fast fashion, being a vegan, plastic free, all of this sort of stuff, it all comes in like steps. I think reducing your meat, reducing your plastic, reducing your like how many clothes you buy, that's already such a massive improvement, and it just goes kind of like step by step. But I think before even that, doing your own research is key.
Yeah.
Once you've done your own research, you know why you are doing something, you know what you stand for, you know why something is important, and it's a lot easier to make a transition.